Hello and welcome everyone. This is Yanaman bringing you another Fleet Ops audio commentary. Today we have a 1v1 matchup between Konsumat and Mort. They are playing on the map Duel, which is a two-player map that is 12k by 12k that has some interesting possibilities. So Konsumat is starting off as the top, as the White Federation, and you can see that he is going for probably a standard mining plus shipyard. Interestingly enough, he is going for Starfleet Engineering first. And we can also see that Mort down here is also the Federation, so we have a Fed v Fed match today. You can see down here that Mort is picking up his yard first, and looks like he is going for, I believe, monsoons with the proximity photon torpedo. And he's just finishing up his mining station. So Mort, with the fact that he is got his Antares yard out first, and he's actually going for 2 Antares yards, so he is going for an early ship rush here, probably straight monsoons, and he is bypassing basically the warp ins because he is not spending his resources there. So we'll see what Konsumat does about this. So it looks that like Konsumat won the scout duel, and Mort having lost his scout. On such a small map, it's not that big of a deal. And interestingly enough, I don't actually see ships being produced out of either of these shipyards. So, I'm be curious to see what Mort ends up doing here. So the basic map here is opposite ends, and there's a easy corridor right through here that leads to just sort of a pair of moons, and then right into your opponent's base. So it's a straight shot there. On either side, as you can see here, that you can go all the way around, taking the long way. And you can also end up passing a pair of moons, and you can end up in your opponent's base. There's also sort of these side corridors where you can pass through these nebulas. And this nebula is basically sort of a line of sight blocker, so you're not exactly sure what's in or on the other side of the nebula. So we see here that Mort is finishing up his Starfleet Engineering, and he's working on his chassis level 1, which would explain why he's not actually going for any ships at all, because he's going to monsoons, and they require the chassis level 1 research. Though I'm still a little surprised that he didn't pump out a pair of sabers. Nonetheless, both have actually skipped sabers and skipped warp in. And you can see that Konsumat is going Intrepids. And so this will be an interesting matchup. Monsoons versus Intrepids. You can see here that Mort is providing a little bit extra defense around his base, putting a pair of platforms on either end. And I believe those platforms cost 100 die, 50 try just to place one down. So not overly expensive off the bat, and you give yourself the option to turn it into a pulse or phaser platform. Though of course there's the sensor platform, but we're not going to really see any of those in this matchup, as there are no cloaked races on the board. So actually, Mort is going a combination of Monsoon Intrepids. So this will be interesting, and you can actually see, as you can see, both of these players went double Antares yards, and so shortly we're going to have some offensive forces on the board, like we're starting to see, and we will probably see a little bit of action here very shortly. So Mort's first ships are about to come out with Konsumat, with his Starfleet Engineering popping out first, is able to put his chassis level 1 ships out on the board faster. So what looked like an interesting move by Konsumat actually ends up paying off by a couple of, granting him about 5 to 10 seconds ahead of Mort. Now, you might think that is nitpicky, but 5 to 10 seconds can actually net you small gains throughout the game, and those can later come to pay. You can get reap rewards from those 5 to 10 seconds. So you can see that he's able to pump out 2 more, so he's going to end up with 4 ships on the board while Mort is still in the process of producing his next 2. So this could get interesting. Mort taking a little bit of a risk with pushing these guys out so early. He's actually going to be outgunned if he ends up too far or too close to Konsumat's base. Konsumat, about to get his 4th Intrepid, could move over here and take over these 2 ships here guarding this middle. At the same time, you can see that Konsumat over here in the bottom left-hand corner is expanding. He's moved over to these this moon pair, and we're about to find that Mort looks like he wants to expand too, but he's either not aware of how the map works out, or he's actually detected the fact that Konsumat's actually already expanded there. Actually, I'm going to say the latter, as he's moving his ships. Well, I'm not exactly sure here what he's doing. You can see that he doesn't quite have the sensor range. He's going to miss this one mining freighter. However, he is going to end up running into it because he sees it with his scout. He's going to find this as a little bit of slow picking, easy pickings. And here comes another monsoon, and here comes this quad group of Intrepids going after this mining. So he's got his phaser platform up here protecting his mining. So it's not exactly clear if Konsumat has seen that, but he has seen that there's this lone Intrepid. So 4v1 here, and this Intrepid is going to go down if he doesn't watch out. So wow, there goes some tricordal torpedoes going out, really pumping out the some extra DPS right there at the front, taking down the shields, and that Intrepid is down, being taken out its engines. So we're actually going to see some interesting play here. So Konsumat with a little bit of 10-second build time on Mort, and is going to be able to maybe push this advantage. He is, however, going to lose this this mining freighter. You can see here at the same time that this is Mort hurrying up with a platform, and he's actually going to build a platform. Probably this is going to be a phaser platform because of the passive that gives it, and he's going to phaser into Konsumat's expansion. Oh, and this is going to be interesting if this guy can hold, if they can hold off these 4 Intrepids. So he's got a couple Monsoons and an Intrepid here. If he can hold off these 4, and if this, and it is going to, he's got about 5 seconds left. 2, 1, and this phaser. So we're going to see this as a phaser really quickly. I expect this any time now. Oh, come on now. The it's really hard to see what's going on here. There's the phaser platform, and now we have the extra offense here with a sum total of 42 in that 1 yard, and this is going to end up potentially marking the end of this expansion by Konsumat. Really excellent play here. So Konsumat is also going to finish off probably a phaser platform, and here comes Mort building another platform. He is really trying to get a toehold on this. You can see that these Monsoons appear to be tearing up these Intrepids, and there goes Konsumat losing an Intrepid at the same time. Oh, and there's a phaser platform, but it was poorly, ended up getting built at the end when that platform itself was damaged, so the phaser comes out quite damaged itself. You can see that Mort trying to quickly take out this phaser platform. It's going to give him that toe up and allow him to complete his second platform, and there that one goes down. So ends up being a loss for Konsumat here. However, Konsumat's down here chasing off this this one Monsoon, Wow, quite an interesting turn of events here. So a little bit of back